Hello, welcome to Adelaide RV information video number 2 in this series, which is about caravan weights and car weights. So the first video was all about your car and what the weights mean. This video is all about the caravan and what the weights mean. So first thing, most important, get the caravan you're interested in and find the VIN plate or the identification plate. Take a photograph of it so you've got the information, and then we'll show you what that information actually means. So we have our caravan. In this case, in the front boot is our compliance plate. The compliance plate will always have all the information you require for checking the weights. So take a photograph of that compliance plate, and if you can't, ask the salesperson to send you a photograph of the compliance plate so you can still sit down and work through those numbers. And we'll go back inside now and see what those numbers mean. So we now have, via our VIN plate that we took a photograph of, all the information you need to understand the weights of your caravan. So let's go through those weights. So firstly, on the VIN plate, it tells you that the manufacturer in this case is Leader Caravans. It's a model called a Gold, and it was built on the 5th of the 4th, 2022. That's all nice to know, but it doesn't mean anything about the weights. The weight starts just here. So we have a tear mass in kilograms. So on this caravan, the tear is 2,399 kilograms. Tear is calculated when the caravan has been built with empty gas bottles, no water, so it's technically what they term a dry weight, and all of your accessories are already fitted. They don't weigh it and then take it back in and put the accessories on. It's your caravan, how you ordered it, brought outside, weighed with no water, fluids, and nothing else but the caravan you've ordered. So that is 2,399 kilograms. The next weight is your ATM. The ATM is listed on here as 2,899, so 2,899, almost 2,900 kilograms. That is the maximum weight your caravan can be, including everything. So when we say everything, full tanks of water, full gas bottles, all your food, your shoes, your clothing, your TV, your cutlery, that all makes up your ATM. So the ATM was 2,899 kilograms. That difference equals our payload. So the difference between 2,899 and 2,399 is exactly 500 kilograms. So 500 kilograms is how much you can put in this caravan to travel. Okay, so the payload is very important because your payload is made up of water, gas, food, cutlery, all the things that I mentioned. Very importantly, so with a typical caravan now, if you have it full of water and full gas, you already have taken around 230 kilograms of your payload. So the difference is what's left for you to put in the van. Most people do not travel with a full payload. So they'll always try and keep the weights down a little bit. And whether you fill up both water tanks or just one water tank for traveling is entirely up to you. But it does make a difference to how the caravan might sit on the road or tow behind your car, whether you have 1 or 2 water tanks full, and then remembering all the other things, awnings, annexes, poles, that you take with you, creates your payload. The average payload on a 20-foot caravan heading up north is around the 400 kilogram mark. So as a guide, that's always a good thing to know. But yeah, don't forget you may overload it very quickly. So your GTM is your gross trailer mass. The GTM is a calculation made purely by subtracting the ball weight of the caravan off of your ATM, because your car is carrying the ball weight. So the ball weight in this caravan's case is 193 kilograms. So if you subtract 193 from 2,899, that will give you the sum of 2706. And that is typically the most that your caravan will weigh while you're towing it. Because again, the car takes that amount onto itself, and then the caravan is free of that. Most people don't worry so much about the GTM, because if they've got the calculations of your ball weight and your ATM correct, the GTM will not come into it as much. So the axle weight is also listed on your plate. The axle rating is what the maximum the caravan's axle is rated at from the manufacturer. And again, you don't normally look at that weight when you're calculating can the car tow it or not, because the axle rating normally will be a little bit higher than things like your total weights. So with this caravan, the axle rating is 3,200 kilograms. What it does mean in the case of Supreme and Leaders, if you have a vehicle suitable, you can actually ask to have an increase of payload. So instead of having a 500 kilogram payload, you can actually ask them to increase it to 650 kilograms, because your axle is fully complied and engineered to take that weight as well. So put nice and simply, if I was towing this caravan to go on a holiday, typically I may put a payload of about 420 kilograms into the van itself. So 420 would be added onto my tear weight to give me my total weight of the caravan. The only other thing to consider with your ball weight, this is always what they call that tear. So it's without anything in your caravan. So if you happen to put a larger box on the front, or you suddenly decide to put a special bike rack with your bikes on it, that is all adding to your caravan's ball weight. When you fill your water up and when you put the gas bottles on, that will also add to your ball weight. Ball weight's not a scary thing. If it's between 200 and 300 kilograms, it's good ball weight. It makes the van tow very well. But you want to be careful that your ball weight doesn't exceed what your car's maximum ball weight is. So the 193, if I loaded this caravan up correctly, that 193 would probably end up being around 250, possibly up to about 270 kilograms of ball weight that I have to take into consideration when I'm thinking about the car and what it can cope with as well. So we'll see you in the next video to talk about how we combine those weights.